هذا الجزء المهم اللي خصصناه.
Now, very important part. This is the second competition for the startups within the ISDB group. Honorable participants, this competition is directed to the small and medium-sized enterprises and the startups that aspire to the facilitation of services and digital efforts across borders that are liable to implementation while empowering the digital process and supporting entrepreneurs and startups and provide the awards for those who win the competitions through the different services while positively impacting the member states in the ISDB. That competition will focus on three objective scopes. First of all, technological and financial results, sustainability and supply chains. Thirdly, human development and social services. It is noteworthy here to say that this competition seeks to the reinforcement of talents in the member states through social competition with development, innovations, and creativity, finding solutions for the different problems and providing opportunities in the region. Now, we will listen to the inaugural statement for the competition by Dr. Ahmed, the General Director for the ISDB institution. We give her the floor and please applaud her. Peace and blessings of Allah upon you.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Thank to Allah, prayer be on the most honorable Prophet Muhammad, his kinsmen, and all his followers, ladies and gentlemen. The entrepreneurs, for the startups and the investors, honorable guests, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. It is a pleasure at the outset to welcome you in the second competition for the ISDB group for startups organized by the private sector of the ISDB group in the margins of the annual meetings of the bank and in keeping with the Jubilee, the Golden Jubilee for the ISDB that is being hosted by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Today, the competition, we have our second one for the ISDB group for startups for the year 2024 that is directed towards the development of digital entrepreneurs and new innovative startups in the ISDB group. Member states, the group and the Solidarity Fund has laid down its vision to the combating of poverty, undertaking several initiatives focused on the support of youth and SMEs through the provision of services, financial support that would help for the development and the reinforcement of human forces in the employment market. Honorable participants, the competition of the ISDB group for the startups is a platform that has a diversified, talented corporations of different startups from the different sectors and regions. It is interested in innovation, entrepreneurship, and the establishment of relationships with other partners and the different pioneers, the investors, and the media. We in the digital development stage and impacts in international economy and plays a very important role in GPG and the economic development impacts technological growth on the GPG and how we can improve our economic performance through innovative technologies. With comparison between the economy 3 years ago and what is taking place today, we'd find that the impact of technology plays a very important role in the wheel of economic development at large, contributing with levels that were unprecedented in the field of production, the drop of costs, and consumption prosperity. The impact of technology on the GPT has important transformation in the field of consumption and production and employment, and contributes in the improvement of productivity, improvement of the processes as a result of the technology, in the improvement of quality and production. On the other hand, technology also impacts on the structure of employment, providing new opportunity with new skills. Within the framework of innovation, the startups play an important role in the field of the formation of effective results. Technological is a motivation for economic development through the investment in the field of research and development and the digital infrastructure and the promotion of innovations in the different scopes. In short, innovation is a very decisive element in the impact of the GDP through the investment in the field of innovation and information technology, and hence all corporations can have sustainable economic development and a better quality of life. In conclusion, I want to express my deep gratitude and appreciation to all participants and all guests and all presenters and speakers who have honored us with their presence today. And I wish to affirm to you that your institution, the IGSB Development Group, aspires to efforts capable of facing challenges through that competition and effectively contributed in the exchange of investment and development of those and partnership and strategies among the Islamic countries at large. May God provide you with the success for the welfare and development and prosperity, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. Thank you.
كل الشكر.
Thank you, Dr. Hiba. Now, after listening to the inaugural statement, we'll listen to the basic competition statement by Dr. Riyad Harmani, the founder of Exceller Partners. And this is under the fast-tracking track and innovation ecosystem, the road ahead. We give him the floor.
Assalamu alaikum.
Peace and blessings.
It's my pleasure to be here, and we're going to have a number of things that we're going to go through in the afternoon. A brief keynote here, then get into the panel, and then get into the startup competition. So what I will do is really very briefly set the stage with basically my understanding of startups ecosystems and when they're moving forward. So these are numbers you probably have seen or are aware of, but all in all, if you look at the innovation ecosystem overall, the startups are basically a piece of it, a piece of the whole puzzle. It's one out of many other things, but it's big. It's getting bigger. I picked numbers from last year, probably not as good as the year before or the year even before that, but still big. And if you look at the trend, investment in startups and the return from startups are on the upside. So, very, very, very descriptive thing here, where you look at when were companies started and what's their valuation, market cap. And it's interesting to see that over the last 20, 25 years, we have a number of companies that came to market, leveraging this whole, wave of digital, and it has got to do with building platforms at scale. And this shows you examples of some companies, and we have new ones coming up every day, right? So it's just really to get back to the linkage between startups and value creation. Startups are about new business models. Again, another illustration of the advertising business, US specific, newspapers, and how that whole value moved into different type of businesses, right? So at the end of the day, really, the startups are really about this value creation and enabling business models and doing it via disruption at scale. Same thing, it's about jobs. Jobs are key. We look here at the difference between jobs created by large companies versus startups over the last 20, 30 years, and you see really the impact and the linkage between value creation, startup growth, and the jobs that it brings to the economy. Having said that, and that gets us into the heart of the discussion here, startups are, and startup ecosystems vary a lot, depends on where in the world, and depends how you look at them. But clearly, if you take a number of criteria in terms of performance, in terms of talent, in terms of exits, in terms of investments, we have a number of rankings, and I picked an example of a genome ranking here, and you see a number of cities, or countries, is mostly cities, and you rank them in terms of startup ecosystem effectiveness. And the key question that one needs to look at and needs to answer, and in my opinion is the most fundamental question, is really why do some startup ecosystems succeed versus others? What's the secret sauce? What's the key criteria? And how to work towards addressing those criteria? I think there are three key challenges when you look at startup ecosystems in terms of like getting up the scale and getting to the next level. The first one is really the performance. If you look at anything starting today, I mean globally, incubators, accelerator, venture capital, they will have three things that they're looking at. Number one is really how to speed access to seed and early stage venture capital, trying to optimize it by a factor of 1.5 or 2. That's sort of a KPI that's there. Trying to optimize the exit by 30 to 40%, either IPOs or public markets or M&As. And finally, optimizing the success rate by a factor of 2 to 3 as well. So anything starting today, and if you look at it in terms of benchmarking, they will set a 10-year plan to get into these KPIs. Same thing, the second key challenge is really how to go from initiating a startup, putting it on the map, to scaling it up. Typically today, especially with this whole digital wave and the type of startup being built, scaling up is really the fundamental problem. So any ecosystem will have to look at that fundamentally and find answers for that. And finally, it's timing. I just put a description here of how things are changing in startup land, from growth to maturity to declining. It's just an illustration that at the end of the day, timing what you do and how you do it, and having all the ingredients within the ecosystem to make it happen is definitely fundamental as well. So three things. Now, if we step back, the question is, okay, we understand the challenges. How do we get to access them, and how do we get to answer them? Just a personal note here. Over the last 3-4 years, I sort of stepped back and looked at, basically I wrote a book, and the book was mostly about analyzing 30 startup ecosystems around the world, globally. And in the back of my mind, the main question was, how do all these startup ecosystems evolve? What made some of them succeed? What made some of them succeed better than others? And really, when you look at that, in North America, in Asia, in Europe, in the Middle East, you realize there is no one size fits all. They're all different. There is no one path to get into innovation, and specifically startup innovation. And finally, it's typically not a straight line. It's mostly iterative. You learn, you adapt, you get feedback, and you improve, right? But having said that, I mean, there are things that are pretty obvious that, we sort of like to relate to. I mean, you have to have talent, you have to have clustering of innovation, you have to have a path to M&As and exits, funding behind it, regulatory. These are things that are common to all ecosystems. Having said that, in my opinion at least, what made some of them succeed versus others is the notion of global connectedness. So what does global connectedness mean? There is the physical connections between startup ecosystems. There is the virtual connection as well, but it's connections at multiple layers. If I take my own experience, I've been built multiple startups over the years, mostly in Silicon Valley. The ones that succeeded is really because at some time, at some point, you have the information that you need to act, and you have it right away with the right people, and that's exactly what sort of made some of them succeed versus others. And I think it's fundamental. I mean, it's connectedness at the startup level, at the team, at the founding level, be able to build the tech, be able to ask, how to sell and who to sell to, be able to partner very efficiently, its connectedness as the funding level, venture capital, merger acquisition, understanding the deal flow, understanding the competition, and finally connectedness at the government and regulatory level in terms of adapting the whole ecosystem. So just to finish up the presentation here, and I think what one should take out of this whole thing is when you go and build startup ecosystem, the goal is to make it succeed, which basically means making the startup succeed, and you have a number of ingredients, but the most fundamental one that one needs to focus on, which I think is the secret sauce, is the notion of building and enabling this connectedness within the ecosystem. So I will leave you on this, and thank you very much for your time here.
Kindly ask you to remain on stage because there is an upcoming session. الآن ندعوكم حضورنا الكريم لمتابعة جلسة حوار بعنوان Empowering Technology Startups, Fostering Innovation and KSA with the speakers that you're going to call.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So yeah, we have the panel coming up, and would like to welcome our distinguished speakers and panelists. So I will welcome Hatim Al-Tahir, Director of Growth, Islamic Financial Services at Deloitte. Please join us. And I would like to welcome Dr. Sami Suwailem, Acting Director General of the ISDB Institute. Then welcome Dr. Muhammad El-Yami, Director of Development Effectiveness Office, the ICD. And Muhammad Maher Maneh, Lead Program Management at the ISFD. Thank you very much for welcome. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. I know we're short on time, but we're going to try to be as efficient as we can on a panel, including hopefully having time for some questions from the audience. So the panel is really about how to empower technology startups and build ecosystem, how to foster innovation, and really understanding what has been done, what needs to be done, what are the challenges, and really try to conclude on what should be the road ahead in this, right? Have a few questions for the panelists. I will go through them, and please feel free to interject if you want to complement some of the answers as we go forward. I will start with Dr. Hatim. So if we look at some of the goals that we set in terms of developing ecosystems, in terms of innovation, and leveraging your extensive experience in building Islamic finance services and developing solutions around that, maybe like a question would be like, in your experience, what sort of came up as the most fundamental thing to consider and build on when putting these ecosystems together?
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Riyad. I think the one thing that one will think about is about government support. I think that's very key for any, or for building an effective ecosystems for any industry. The government support will obviously include putting the right legislations, guiding and driving awareness and business partnerships between the different stakeholders of the industry, and in this case, if we're talking about technology advancement or digital economy. And another important factor is the funding to ensure that building the economy of digitalization, transformation, and having different partnerships with different stakeholders and building the right skill sets and competencies needed to drive the industry and contribute, obviously, the economic growth is important. engaging the private sector in developing collaborative initiatives, business partnerships, whether it is Islamic financial institutions or business associations or academia, research centers, and human development centers, and so on and so forth. So these are important for building an effective and robust economy. And I think going just one step back, we see now the shift between the knowledge economy to the digital economy. And this is now a recurring theme of all industry discussions, the technology advancement, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, you name it. And coincidentally now in Riyadh, we have the World Economic Forum, which is taking place this week. And I have been watching, part of the sessions yesterday. It was predominantly talking about technology and how you empower technology in different sectors of economy and how you diversify your economy. And I think this is very important for Islamic finance, and certainly for the IDB group with its different specialized institutions, to look at the size of the OIC GDP, which I think I remember a figure of 7 trillion. Dr. Sami obviously will correct me if I'm wrong. But I think this is the big marketplace where hopefully Islamic finance and digital economy can marry and work together, obviously, or leverage the technology to boost diversification agenda within these emerging markets. And I'm sure there will be some other points. I think I'll pause at this stage and allow my colleagues to.
Thank you, Dr. Hatem, for briefing us on the strategic importance and the ingredients to make the whole ecosystem succeed. To Dr. Sami Suwailem, I would like to step back and ask a very fundamental question here. We talked a lot about innovation, startup ecosystem innovation. In your opinion, do we need that? How fundamental is it? How urgent is it? What's the priority in developing it to get the rest of the things working?
Thank you, Brother Riyadh. As we all know, the biggest risk is to try to avoid all risk. Life is inherently uncertain. You cannot predict this, you cannot predict tomorrow, some things you can predict. For example, the sun will rise tomorrow and so on. But for the vast majority of the details are not predictable. So with this inherent uncertainty, how do we deal with this uncertainty? As a strategy, through innovation. You have to adapt your behavior, your processes to uncertainty, and how to adapt your processes and systems to uncertainty through innovation. That's what innovation means. Now, if this is the human nature, by the way, if you ask people, would you like to stay still and we'll pay you, or you'd like to move on and you have to pay, they will pay for moving on. And let me tell you something to get into business, so to speak. After the Great Depression and the New Deal, and there were so many restrictions on banking in order to avoid something like the collapse of the Great Depression. So what emerged was something called boring banking. And some people call it 3-6-3. You take deposits, you pay 3%, you lend at 6%, and then you go play golf at 3 p.m., 363. But then they got sick of it. It's very boring. So they moved from boring banking to toxic banking. That's human nature. Human nature is that you cannot, a human being cannot be a machine that can repeat over and over. If you want to kill someone, just treat him as a machine. That's the way. And that's where Islamic finance comes in. Islamic finance would strike the balance between being cautious, managing risk, but at the same time taking on risk. I'll stop here for the next.
No, thank you very much. We'll come back to some of these aspects as we go through the panel. My next question is to Dr. Muhammad Al-Yami. With all your expertise in broad expertise, specifically in fintech and development of fintech ecosystem, the question here is really, what role do development financial institutions play in powering these financial ecosystems, these fintech ecosystems, and how can we evaluate the impact when we go through that specifically?
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Riyad. I just need to admit that I'm not an expert, real expert in fintech. I think the experts are here in the room and maybe online. Of course, the speakers here, but not me for sure. And I also would like to thank Dr. Sami for this, for this note that he made. I think it should be a closing remark. Thank you very much. It's really insightful by all means. So DFIs and fintech. I think to start with, we have multi-level of interaction with the fintechs. Of course, we might say it's a new sector, but it's really, from the presentation that you just mentioned, it has been a while since fintech started, but maybe the dispersity or the booming of this sector is a very recent. Development financial institutions can provide funding to fintechs, but more importantly, I think they can provide non-financial support where it's the most needed. We are talking about access to market, where they can the fintech, local fintechs can leverage on the global presence of DFIs. If you take into as an example the Islamic Development Bank Group, we operate in 57 member countries, so that can be leveraged for the fintechs. I think you mentioned in your speech that the fintechs need to go beyond borders, and the best way to do that is maybe by giving them access to market. The second thing is to have the infrastructure. What we are talking about the incubator, the accelerators, the innovation hubs. Some DFIs or MDBs, they have their internal arms for that, and I think the Islamic Development Bank Institute can provide some technical support and advisory in that regard, and Dr. Sami can correct me if I'm wrong. We also can help with with the policies and the regulations on ground, and what I mean by that is to help work with the government to facilitate faster procedures and processes. We are talking about streamlined licensing for the fintech. Talent. I'm talking about individuals. I'm talking about educational systems. I'm talking about the institutional training that can be provided through the DFIs in collaboration with the schools, universities, and also government. One other point is actually the development of the ecosystem itself. And you mentioned ecosystem, I think, 3 times in your talk. And what I mean by that is to bring the all stakeholders together in a forum like this one, what we have today. So just bringing people together, stakeholders, those who are interested in the fintech, and try to help them with that. That will be, I think, a big role of the FIs. And finally, the funding, I'll go back to the funding last point. I would say there are 2 levels of funding. The first one is for when the fintech will start as a very startup. There is, the normal seeds and the angel investors, government grants. When they, I would say, accelerate or grow up a bit, then DFIs can, look for an equity with those, or can create a dedicated fintech, financing program with a small ticket. But of course, I will go back to the risk. We will take the risk of that, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. I'll get to Mohammed Maher Manei. You've got a lot of experience managing projects in the field, executing in terms of helping SMEs and startups. So maybe you can enlighten us in terms of understanding the operational and financial challenges that these SMEs face in the field. Maybe if you can do it through like use cases that you've worked on, that would be very valuable to us.
Thank you very much, Riyadh. So based on our experience in implementing different SME funds and programs for entrepreneurs and to empower poor people, to empower the youth and women, in general, we are facing identified four main issues. The first one, and Dr. Eliami and Dr. Hatem talked about, is the synergy among the ecosystem. Believe me, in most of our member countries, they have all the components of very sophisticated countries when it comes to ecosystem. But the problem, there is no synergy. They just copy-paste. There is a guarantee fund in Netherlands. They launch a guarantee fund. There is an accelerator in France. They will have an accelerator in France. But the problem, as you know, the MSMEs and the entrepreneurs, like small plant, it needs a lot of different components together, not one by one. So sometimes those entrepreneurs, they ended up knocking the doors one by one. They go to the, those funds specialized in venture capital. Those funds specialized in capital, they will be telling him, you know what, secure the financing for me. I will provide you with 70–30%, but you need to have a financing with you. He will be knocking the door for the financial guys. No, you don't have, guarantees. You need to come up with the guarantees. And sometimes he's going to guarantee his guy that you need to have securities or whatever. So the guy with his business plan, he ended up really knocking the door for 2 or 3 years without completing his project. And at the end of the day, even the feasibility study it's not updated anymore. This is one of the issues. The second one, which is extremely important based on our experience, is the financial product are not adapted to the context or the cycle of the company itself. So you see the banks or those funds, even those funds, sometimes they are saying venture capital fund, but they are providing the equity. It's like a big company and small company, industrial company like an IT company, the same approach, the same methodology. Just to give you an example, not in innovation, just in general. So in one of our member countries, we found out that the majority of SMEs, MSMEs, they are getting 100% financing from the bank for their projects. So the banks in the beginning, they know they are not giving them the right, product for them. Because based on our experience, to build your small plant, you need at least 2 to 3 years, with the license from the Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Environment. Then you need to test your product. You need 2 years to start the marketing, another 2 years, so on average 5 years. So if I'm getting 100% loan from a bank, I will have maximum 2 years grace period. Okay, so the remaining 3 years, I will not get any revenue until the 5th year. So from where I'm going to pay back the loan? So that's why the majority of them, they vanish in 1 year. Yeah. And this is a big issue for us, especially us as development bank. Because if those guys, vanish, the problem is not just in they are collapsing. The problem, they will be discourage the others from launching their own initiatives and to venture. They will stick, to the state-owned companies. Let me stick to, fixed job. I don't want really to go in those ventures. The third issue that we are facing, the regulation, and the majority, as I said, it's a copy-paste. Copy-paste from another country, they are paying the consultant is paying copy from pasting here. There is no really adaptation to the context. And altogether, it's really making a big issue for MSMEs. And at the end of the day, the multilateral institutions, the government, they are pumping money, but there is no efficiency. So that's why in our approach, just providing financing is not a solution. You need really to provide the financing and to try to provide the capacity building. On top of that, to try to secure market for them. Because most of the case, you provide access to finance and financing, and those guys, where they will be going to the market, they will be facing those big sharks, the big players. Yeah. They cannot survive with them. They don't even know how to deal with them. So that's why in our intervention, we try always to secure a type of market, but this is not our job to secure the market. So by identifying the value chain and introduce those entrepreneurs into value chain to create a balanced kind of contract between the big players and small players. And let me give you a very, very brief example about that, concrete example. In Tunisia, the government of Tunisia, they asked us to provide financing for 7,000 small farms in a region called Janduba. We told them 7,000 small farms, this is an advantage for us. But this is not our mandate, just to provide access to finance. We contacted Delis Danone. In Tunisia, they are controlling 80% of the dairy business in Tunisia. We told them, look, Delis Danone, this is not your job to feed the cows, cleaning the cows and milking the cows. We have 7,000 farmers. Give us the characteristics of those cows and the tankers to preserve the milk. Because in the dairy business, there are certain if you don't preserve them, you cannot yield certain cheese products. Then we contacted the GIZ. We told them, look, GIZ, us will provide the financing for those small farmers, and I need you to train them on the process and processes of Delis Danone. Yeah. Of course, it's very easy to describe it, but it took 2 years for us to design. Yeah. It's like we are an investment banker for those poor and entrepreneurs to sign the contracts and so on. Just, this is one. Two, the good thing in this process, when you identify the value chain and you have partnership, because you alone, you cannot do it. The Islamic Development Bank alone, we cannot do everything. Providing the financing, technical capacity, identifying the value chain. You need partners to work together. In this case, so we secured the off-taker. Then we have GIZ as a technical partner to train those small farms. Us, we provide the financing. In this case, exactly, so we imported 14,000 cows, 2 cows for each small farmer. We save it for those small farmers, 40% on the cows, 17% on the tankers. So in total, 57% shifted directly to those small farmers as reducing their cost of project. After 5 years, Delis Danone, they wanted to renew the contract. It was in 2021. Those small farmers, they told them, no, we are not like before. We are well trained, we have a good cows, we know the process, you have to increase the price. Before that case, those small farmers, they cannot even talk to the security guy of Delis Danone. Now they are facing this big Goro company and they are negotiating with them. Delis Danone ended up to increase the price, and not only this, they told us for any newcomer to this program, we'll provide you with a full guarantee. So those are the cases that we are trying really now to intervene to create, to provide 3 types of outputs: the financing, the market, and the capacity building. And again and again, alone we cannot do it. So always we try to provide a program or intervention a la carte, menu a la carte, where everybody can see himself contributed to this and own this program. And now with Dr. Swelem and our partners in GPP, we are discussing initiative, HOPE initiative, where we have
the IDBI to provide technical assistance to the banks and to support them. We have GPP to provide us with their know-how and technical assistance, and ISFD with structuring the financial product, and we are going together. And yesterday we signed with IFC and OCP to join us with 50 million USD through their Innovex platform. Thank you.
No, thank you very much for bringing the whole dimension of the necessity to adapt. There is no copy-paste, there is no one-size-fits-all, so adapting to the context is fundamentally important. I want to jump on that and go back to Dr. Hatem. Just a note here, we're short in time, so maybe like brief answers. So we leave also time for the audience for a couple of questions at the end. But Dr. Hatem, I think you gave us an overview on what are the ingredients to build this innovation and foster it. But really, the question is really how to measure it. I mean, are there methodologies that can be put in place to measure that and measure the progress?
Yes, absolutely. I think it is important that the process, yeah, sure, shukran. I think it is essential that these startups get evaluated and monitored carefully to see how they are progressing and what other technical or financial or any other issues that is needed. As Mohammed was just saying, it's not only the funding. Clearly, the challenge here is that something maybe we missed to mention is that generally the startups' failure is very big compared with other markets around the world. So these are new ventures with young people, generally with little experience. They needed technical support, technical knowledge, capacity building, as Mohammed was saying earlier, and so many other challenges. But I think it's some kind of a regular kind of monitoring and assessments and building certain KPIs to see the success rates, where are the failures, what sectors fail more than others, what countries within the OIC, if we talk our marketplace, fail more than the others, what kind of more regulations or policies that need to be supporting the growth of the startups business. And I'm sure within the OIC, there are different levels of regulations and government support and challenges. Even when we talk about technology, different level of technology advancement in different levels of regions within the OIC market. If I focus my talk and analysis about the OIC market, the 57 countries, again, just to put some perspectives on the digital economies and figures, I was reading in the internet, simply just quick questions. Indonesia GDP contribution of the digital economy was $70 billion in 2021-22. And it's predicted that by 2030, this will reach $300 billion. I don't know how much is the percentage of that. But in Saudi Arabia, in 2022, the digital contribution was 14% of the GDP, which is, I think, very ambitious and very good figure to see diversifying from the oil and gas industry. Likewise, in the UAE, the contribution of the digital economy was 19%. In Malaysia, interestingly as well, it's 23%. So that shows that the digital economy now is a fact. We have to live with that. It's shaping our lives. And obviously, the recent COVID-19 pandemic has proven to us that digital economy is here to stay, and it will be the norm, the normal norm, as they say. So, obviously, again, IDB, working with other stakeholders, will have to have consensus and unified approach as how this digital economy or technology advancement work more efficiently within the OIC market. And I'll pause here again.
No, thank you for laying out the framework to evaluate and judge on the effectiveness of these models. I will turn the question around here to Dr. Sami, to Dr. Mohammed, and Mohammed Manay. The audience is a mix of audience, but we have a lot of startups that will be participating in a competition in the next hour, and they will be getting awards from the judges based on what they've done. But putting myself in the shoes of the startups that are in the audience here, so the question is really, what sort of key advice would you give them to optimize their chances in succeeding in the context in which they operate? I mean, they're all building early stage ventures, they're all going through the process. So what would be, in few words, the key advice you would be giving them moving forward? Yeah, go ahead.
Be patient and believe in your product. And I think Tesla case, it's a big case for everybody. In the beginning, now we are celebrating Tesla. Everybody is talking about Tesla, but it was a big failure through 3 or 4 times. So that's why I strongly recommend them really to be patient, to try as much as possible to innovate, to face this competition, and knock the door as much as possible, and stick to your product. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm really glad that you asked this question, which I think wasn't even from the protocol, but very good. Two things. First is for the startups, really, and I think it's for all of us. Don't think about solution that will look for a problem to solve. You have to identify the problem first, then build your solution. Otherwise, you are just trying to be among those, startups and fintechs, but you will find it difficult. And the second one is just to build on the evaluation, because it's linked to this one. For the startups, for everyone, any project that you have, I think you should have what they call the theory of change, meaning what are the things that you are producing or implementing, and what is the expected change that will happen. Not only that, if you identify this theory of change, how are you going to measure the impact? And there are many methodologies, but you have to have this as the core principle of your idea, because it's still an idea, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would say that for the startup to maximize the chances for success, you have to have the long and hard work. You don't just say, oh, I have a wonderful idea, I should succeed. No, that's not enough. There are so many stories of wonderful ideas that failed because of bad implementation, because of poor execution, because of failed strategy for approaching the market, the customers, and so on. A good idea is one step, is necessary, but not sufficient. Now, people would say the majority of startups fail. That is the unconditional probability. If you take out those startups who do feasibilities, who have networking, who have the ingredients, the majority succeed. But the problem, the majority of startups do not do these things.
Yeah.
And copycats is quite common. I mean, if, wallahi, Dr. Muhammad started a new business, oh, I'll do the same thing, but I'll just change the color, I'll change this. And so here is the idea. You have to have end-to-end process. You have to start with the idea, but you have to work hard on translating the idea into a successful product. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, coming from the startup world myself, typically one of the most important things is to decide when to listen to others and when to listen to yourself. At the moment, these are very wise words, so I hope you guys listen to this advice. We have just a few minutes left, so we'll open it up to the audience here. If there are any questions that you want to ask the panelists, please go ahead. Yeah, we have a question over there. Maybe just a couple of questions and brief answers so we can finish on time. Thank you. A microphone. Yeah, please, we can hear you.
Inshallah.
Started, thank you. About a year ago in one of our local mosques in Silicon Valley, we started this monthly meeting of, to help startups. I'm 65-year-old, one of the mentors. This is one of key ingredients for startups to succeed, by the way. Have a good team. Good idea, bad team, you destroy the company. So we started it, and we helped 40 startups in 1 year. How much capital was raised? $200 million. Just from one small local mosque. If you go to the bigger picture of the Silicon Valley, there are a lot of Muslim organizations. And the organization that I'm part of, I think we have raised so far about $7 billion in the last 5 years. Marvel, a semiconductor company, got sold. 2 Pakistanis made about $13 billion. So there is this, what are the ingredients that empower people? And I think, Dr. Sami, I think you mentioned it rightly. The idea is not enough. You have to have certain other ingredients. One of my concern, by the way, I specialize in building new industries, and for Malaysia, I didn't mention earlier too, but I was the technology business advisor to Dr. Mahathir Mohamad of Malaysia and helped build their microchip design industry with a benefit of $32 billion. Right now, I'm building 2 new industries of climate change and food security. And I want to invite all the young audiences especially, please look at this area. Climate change is real. 2 weeks ago, rainstorm destroyed greenhouses in Oman and UAE, and people are calling me, hey, we need your greenhouse because I have a certain technology which is very unique. So my input in this is, please, this is Saudi Arabia, I understand, and this is the Arab world, and there are Arab world funds. Please work with Muslims in the United States, especially in Silicon Valley. We have the expertise, we have the finances. The Muslim net worth in the United States is about $300 billion right now. And that we're willing to share with the rest of the Muslim world. I just wanted to express my sense of obligation.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very wise comment and observation. No question here, but maybe one last question, if anyone has a question.
If you allow me.
Yeah, or maybe a comment on the side.
I just forgot a very famous saying of Thomas Edison. He said, success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So
absolutely.
I think that's the most important message that startups should keep in mind.
Absolutely. That sums it up very well. Thank you very much for that. And I would like to extend my thanks to the distinguished panelists. I wish we had more time to discuss more things, but time is up, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
much. And let's have a group photo, please. Yes. Thank you very much to all the speakers and to the moderator, Dr. Riyad Hartani, for this very inspiring talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And, last but not least, I would like to welcome on stage Mohammed Hadi Majay to give us his final remarks on this and the overall startup innovation discussion that we're having. Please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A word of thanks and appreciation to all speakers, moderator, and the attendees. It's a pleasure and honor for me to give these concluding remarks on behalf of the IDB group. Indeed, it was really a thrilling experience to be gathered here in Riyadh to celebrate our Golden Jubilee in a place where it all started actually back in 1975. By the way, it's in this same hotel that the first annual meeting of the IDB took place in 1975 in Riyadh to cherish basically our past and charting our future. Here, after hearing basically the speakers, what is best to chart our future than innovation and entrepreneurship? Indeed, technology and digitization and entrepreneurship are becoming at the center of debate and strategies globally. Yesterday, actually, many of you were following the World Economic Forum session held here in Riyadh as well. Actually, with the first session on digital currencies in the Middle East, followed by one on entrepreneurship. So really, this is a testimony that really the panel is very much relevant to what's going on globally. Both themes actually are tackled in our group strategy and reminded and stressed by His Excellency, the President of the group in his various speeches. Listening to the various sessions, I picked few takeaway points to share with you. The first one is to tech startup ecosystem play critical role really in fostering development in several key areas. It serves as economic growth engine, it creates jobs, it fosters innovation, and helps solve various problems. I mean, earlier we talked about climate change and food security and other important, basically, fields to our member countries. In terms of investment, global investment in tech startup reached about 315 billion in 2023. Although in the MENA, I mean, we see some increasing activity, but it reached a record-breaking actually figure of 2.6 billion, but it's still, as you see, modest despite the huge available resources in the region and in our member countries. Saudi Arabia has secured the top spot in MENA VC funding, followed by UAE for about 26% of all deals. The total inflow of VC in Africa reached about 6.5 billion across about 900 deals across the continent. Despite this huge surge of activity, actually the activity still remain very much low compared to the size of the market and the needs of the continent. Various initiatives are taken to support VC activities and innovation in our member countries, and some of the speakers tackled that. For instance, the Aramco Lab 7 to support sustainable development and innovation. And this is very much important to tackle the thematics that are talked about globally. Also, the ideas are not enough, as we have concluded, and the panel highlighted that. I mean, entrepreneurs needs really determination, hard work, and patience really to succeed. To conclude, the IDB Group, of course, remains committed to support innovation and entrepreneurship through various programs, as it was highlighted by Dr. Sami and our colleague Maher. And this pitch competition is another, basically, initiative of the various efforts that IDB is trying to bring in. I conclude with a word of thanks to all the entrepreneurs and judge panels who participated in the competition. Our congratulations also to the winners that will be announced later. And also a word of thanks to all the colleagues who are involved in the organization of this event, and to the IDB management of the group for this supporting this group initiatives, as well as the KSA authorities to hosting us as a co-sponsor and organizer of this remarkable Golden Jubilee, attended by a number of delegations globally. So I wish you all good continuation of the event and of the annual meeting itself. And we look forward to the next IDB competition that will be held next year in Algiers in our annual meeting, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed, and for the insightful data. And this sets the stage for the startup competition that we're going to be having here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. حضورنا الكريم.
Honorable attendees, we invite you to watch the participating CMEs in the competition. We thank the jury, Dr. Osam Hojari. He will give us the statistics about the participants in the competition. The peace and blessing of Allah. Thank to Allah and prayer be on the Messenger of God. It is a pleasure for us to have you with us today, and thanks to Allah. This is the second competition for the SMEs of the IsDB group. This year we had a large number of projects, more than 100 very strong ones as well, and through several sectors, the financial technology, education technology, health, a number of sectors participated, in addition to the fact that the projects were startups or ideas. The projects included urban areas and rural areas as well, and a number of member states. We can say that there are more than 20 countries took part in the competition. Perhaps Saudi represented 70% of the member states, and also we have Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey, the United States, Libya, Yemen, Holland, and projects from other countries, the percentage of the gender representation was between 20% and 80% of the youth. Now, today, we will award the financial technology sector, cyber effort, the second sector, sustainable development, including agriculture, and the third path, social development, including the health, applications, the health, the schools, and the new startups. Now, we will leave the floor to the juries and to provide us with the different projects. Thank you. Well, allow us to welcome the jury members that will assess the different parties take place. They are on the front seats of Mr. Hani Magrid, head of the investment department for the ISDB, Dr. Fuad Basyouni, the CEO of the new startups, Dr. Riyad Hattari, the founder and the director of External Partners, Mr. Halal Hussein, he is a partner in the ISDB, Mr. Mohammed Abdulfar, head of the entrepreneurship in Babris Kamil, Mr. Ahmed Sharif, head of the Department of Innovations, Dr. Hagel Fini, the CEO of the Economic Circle, the head of the Center of the Pioneer Entrepreneurship Department at the AU University in Cairo, and the member of the development of trade, to the CEO for the Now it is time for the different projects. We'll start with the first team, Ciola.
Greetings. Although this might not apply to the geniuses here today, but many people are struggling to create successful investing habits. Take, for example, my dear friend Mutab. He's a young employee with 2 kids trying to secure a second source of income for his family. Yet he lost over $7,000 in trading FX, crypto, you name it. In that process, he learned that investing tends to be very difficult, risky, and requires lots and lots of commitment. And that is exactly why we created Ciola, an app for people just like Mutab to start investing with absolutely no minimum budget, no investing knowledge, and of course, low risk. So how does that work? Each user is going to receive a Ciola card that is powered by either Visa or MasterCard. And with each transaction they make, the roundups and the rewards will be invested on their behalf automatically. Of course, depending on the risk profile, and they can cash it out at any time. Now, this solution has been validated globally by companies like Econs and Robinhood, which IPO'd successfully. And now we're bringing this to Saudi, a market where those big boys cannot operate in, and where spare change has been valued over $1 billion in a matter of weeks. And the demand is huge. We launched our MVP in last May with over 15,000 people on our waiting list, eager to start using Ciola. We monetize all sides of the platform. We charge a monthly subscription fees to the premium features while receiving the interchange fees paid by the payment network. And we've done all of that thanks to our backers. They've been supporting us since the very early days of Siyula. Our technology is completely built in-house by a team that has been working together for over 5 years with 2 previous exits. My name is Fahad Ghazwani, and I am the CEO of Siyula, alongside with my co-founder, Dr. Ahmed, who's a PhD in finance, Al-Bandari, who brings a remarkable experience in designing giga projects, and of course, our cybersecurity expert and genius, Amjad. And together, we're raising $5 million. These will be used for expansion, product development, and securing the most superior user experience for our customers. The GCC region is considered to be the wealthiest in the world, yet the people don't have the right tools nor the good habits to start and grow their portfolios. And that's what we are creating. Join us to discover how we are making investing a habit. Thank you. Apparently there are questions which I missed, so let's go. What kind of question do you guys have?
First, congratulations. Assalamu alaikum.
Is it سيولة الكلمة العربية?
سيولة like in Arabiya. However, we found out in Nukaman in Irish.
In the Arabic word, Siyula. What is the origin of this word?
Excellent, very good.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on the is it an application? That's the first question. And the second is, I can see Visa and MasterCard.
Yes.
So what's the role of Visa and MasterCard? The last question is, you're investing the roundups.
Yes.
Somewhere based on the risk profile. And you have 15,000 subscribers waiting. So do I understand the application is not yet live? Thank you.
Absolutely. So the very first question, is it an application? Siyula is more than just an application. It's an application, of course, in the terms of using it on your phone or the desktop, but also we are providing APIs for all the companies who want to build on top of our infrastructure. We provide data APIs as well for the people who are interested into gathering the data of the finances and spendage usage. So it's more than just one application. And the second question, what's the difference between Visa and MasterCard? That's only why Visa and MasterCard, depending on the geographic location. So we've been operating in multiple countries. Each country has a different provider, so that's why it's either Visa or MasterCard. And the third one, it was about... Yes, exactly. It's live. However, the MVP, like when we launched the MVP, we had over 15,000 users. However, we're still on a tasting basis, even with the current live users. So it's semi-live. Thank you. Another question, I think, there.
Hello, congratulations for the startup. I just want to know that what's your current revenue in the semi-live, and after raising $5 million, where will you reach in how long time? Thank you.
So currently we are still in the sandbox within the multiple countries. However, so we are not technically allowed to disclose it publicly, but we can get it on one-on-one conversation later on to go through the finances if needed. But publicly, we are not allowed to make a statement yet. Maybe after the periodic, which is from 9 up to 2 years, 9 months to 2 years, we can publicly disclose some data. Yes. Any other question right there? No question. Amazing. So technically, the investments are within something we called smart baskets. These smart baskets will be diversified: ETFs, bonds, stocks, local stocks from Saudi Arabia, international stocks in multiple markets, ETFs, I think I mentioned that before. So it's a diversified smart baskets, or in the technical term, it's an investment program. So we have multiple ones. I think we're approaching 9 by now. And we subscribe people based on the risk portfolio or the investment policy in the very beginning. I think that's a question, right? Perfect. Thank you. I think.
يا كبيرة للسيالة، شكرا جزيلا. والآن راح نكون مع الفريق الثاني.
Very much. Now we are going to have the second team.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So I'm from Pakistan, and the KIST means, which I think a lot of people here in this region also understand, that it means installments. So it's basically, the platform is KIST Pay, which means pay on installment. So KIST Pay is basically a specialized platform for device financing. So the device that we have in our hand, I mean, we take it for granted, but if you look at the numbers, there are about 2.6 billion people on this planet Earth who, despite living in an area of internet connectivity, do not have access to a smartphone, primarily because of 3 reasons. So, well, we talk about these 2.6 billion people. They're on the wrong side of the digital divide. That means they and their children do not have the same level of opportunities, the kind of opportunities you and I have and our children have. And as per the UNICEF, when COVID hit, 2/3 of the school-going children throughout the world could not attend their school. So we see that that was a huge damage to the humanity, that students could not go to school. So, this device is basically not just YouTube or Instagram. It is basically access to life, access to education, access to knowledge, access to everything. That's why we are laser focused to solve this problem globally. And if you see, I'm sure in this room, a lot of people are having iPhone, and whenever there's a new iPhone, they get it, but this is a journey. A lot of people that we talk about, the 2.6 billion people, start using basic feature phone, and their journey basically starts from smart feature phone to basic Android, then flagship Android, then iOS. So why this, there's a massive problem still exists there? Primarily because of the 3 reasons. One, despite the cost of a smartphone has gone down, it remains out of reach for most of these people. We're talking about the underbanked and unbanked people. About 56% of the monthly income constituted about a new $100 phone, as per the World Bank report. Second is lack of financing. So these people are generally unbanked and underbanked, and whenever you apply for financing to a financial institutions, they ask for the bank statement, they ask for your salary slip, they ask for the collateral. They don't have any of these things. And I'm coming from Pakistan, so basically, people, even if they get access to financing from the informal sector, that's non-Sharia compliant. So again, people have the religious belief, and they try to avoid interest-based financing. These kind of people I'm talking about, the kind of, if you ask them, what do you do? This is the kind of information that they give us. They have a shop, they have the real cattle farms, they have the farming stock with them. So the solution that KISPay has developed using technology in collaboration with Google is that we allow access to smartphone on Sharia-compliant smartphone financing. We collaborate with telecom operators in the country. We use the telco data or the utility company data to have assessment of these customers, and basically without having any documentation from these people, we allow them to have access to a device with 6 months data free of cost to them. And we keep the phone itself as a collateral, because when they get the phone, they keep 20% of the down payment, and we facilitate 80% of the financing from our platform. And over the period of time, they become the owner. And once they have completed the financing, they also get access to finance, keeping the phone itself as a collateral. And to convert these people, we have converted the retail channels, because these people do not know how to fill the form. These people do not know how to go online and do things. So these people are familiar with the neighborhood retailers, and that's what we're using them. So once we do the device financing, we also facilitate customers to open the bank account, and also facilitate these people to have access to e-commerce portal, which they download free of cost within 30 seconds of after getting the device. And once they, as I mentioned earlier, once they complete the device financing, they also get the cash, financing, keeping the phone itself as a collateral. So, we don't stop there. As I mentioned earlier, once we open the bank account, we use that banking channel for the repayments. And in process, we build a credit score for these customers. And that credit score, we share it with banks and microfinance institutions so that these people can have access to bigger stuff, like somebody wants bike, or somebody wants other stuff. It means farmers would need something else. So before KISPay and after KISPay, now these people have a profile that the financial institutions can use it for them to do the financing for other products. So this is basically a technology that we have developed in collaboration with Google, when the customer does not make a payment, so we lock the device. And this is basically a global lock, which basically is kind of unbreakable. And the person, when they invested 20% or 30% of the device value, he doesn't run away. And we also communicate the customer. It will also reflect their credit score if they perform well. So even for a lot of these people, we cannot finance a $100 phone to them. So we start their journey with the microfinance by giving them 50 cents, telco credit, and train them that, pay us back, so we double the amount. Next time you get $1. You give us back $1, we give you $2. And in process, we build the credit score. This is a woman-centric KISPay outlet that we have developed, where, people in our country, they're not very familiar, okay to go to visit the retail outlet of the men-centric markets. These are some of the partnerships that we have created. We have gone beyond Pakistan. We are live with all telecom operators in Pakistan, and we have gone with MacroPay in Mexico, Robi in Bangladesh. We are part of a global affordability coalition partner of GSMA, in which the World Bank is also there, IFC, and all these players are coming together to make this thing possible. We are partnered with Google and GSMA. Google has given us a technology. We've been recognized by World Bank. We were one of the top 10 finalists for the Game Changing Award in Digital Technology. And last month in Barcelona, we signed a MOU with UNDP to to eliminate the digital divide in the Arab states. This is our team. We have, this is not my first startup. This is a second company that I've built. Before this, I've built companies and expanded globally. And with KISPay, with the partners, World Bank, GSMA, Google, we are super excited to go global. These are some of the revenue streams that we have. And so far, we have done about 8,000 to 10,000 device financing. And our default started in the beginning from 32%, now has come down to 5 to 7%. Thank you very much.
Can we turn on the mic?
Yeah. So basically, I'll be honest, the reason why I'm presenting here is not to win the competition, but I'm here to collaborate with the ecosystem. My question, I wanted to ask this when I was there, that how do we collaborate with a platform like Islamic Development Bank? Because last month I was invited by World Bank as a speaker in the Digital Summit, and they collaborate with the governments. So my question would be to how the Islamic Development Bank operates and collaborate with players like us, who basically do not money for ourselves to build the company, but to finance. Because even if I raise $10 million, I'll be only financed 100,000 devices. So it's really a financing play for the masses. So I said 2.6 billion people. That means even if we give $100 phone, we require 260 billion rupee, US dollars. And I believe that's not the money that we have. So it's basically a collaborative effort. So my question, before you ask me a question, my question would be, how do we collaborate? And 57 member countries, I'm sure a lot of these problems exist in all those markets. So how do we take it and collaborate with all of you? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sure that this is the essence and the benefit of having these kinds of events where we get to meet a lot of people and explore all the possibilities, definitely, for your project. And please, feel free, even if you didn't have the time to ask questions right now, you can actually ask, because we will have a longer break after we see all the presentations. So we would be able to share knowledge and find answers to all of your questions. Give it up again to Qistfei. Big round of applause.
Do you have any questions? I do have to answer.
No, I'm just saying that if we would like to have questions later, to have answers, so you can have like a one-to-one kind of interaction later on. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. حضورنا الكريم.
Honorable participants, now we will have the third presentation of the third group. The presentation of the third group.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم. معكم خولة بن منصور من تونس. Next, please. اوكي سوري، قالوا لي انه راح يعملوا النكست من هناك، عذرا. بالنيابه عن فريق اي سكيورتيز هب اتقدم لكم بالشكر. نحن فريقنا متنوع جدا من جنسيات مختلفه في مهارات مختلفه. لدينا مختصون في الماليه الاسلاميه.
So we have people specialized in the sound engineering, but we have a common interest. It is a financial Islamic financing. I think we are able to find and to provide solutions for all the economical problems for the. So they have honored us with their findings and with their inventions. We are going to improve all these innovations, and this will have a very positive impact on the economy. We have to focus on two sectors, liquidity management. And why are we going to focus on these fields? Because there is a serious problem in these fields. There is no digital solutions for these problems according to Sharia. So the products available in the market now are very costly. So we need to do something in the field of finance management and to make it less competitive. In more than 100 countries, there are these activities, but a few banks are trying to make available solutions according to Sharia criteria. We need a digital policy for these products. The iSecurity, it is a digital platform to provide solutions for managing the sukuk. It tries to make the link between the financial banks, and the central bank is going to provide amounts according to the Sharia principles and to count on the products we are making available. We have succeeded in finding an alternative to all these things according to the Sharia principles. We are trying to link between these different solutions so that people can exchange these solutions for the sake of development. The iSecurity is the first digital platform in conformity with the Sharia principles and rules. The first thing we have done, so this digital platform is designed for the benefit of the Islamic banks. We have Mr. Umar Mustafa Al-Ansari and the left, Mr. Mustafa Adil, and representing the iSecurity Said Mr. Shahir Abbas. After that, we have signed with the first central bank in Oman, and this project has been launched since March. So these solutions are available for all the banks, especially the Islamic banks and the ISDB. We think this can help a lot in solving these problems in order to allow the Islamic banks to focus on their main roles and duties, and this will have a very positive impact on the economy. I will stop here. So our platform can provide sukuk for the companies. The sukuk should not be available only for the government, but it should be available also as well for the companies in all the member countries of the OIC.
No questions?
شكرا لك. الآن
Now we will open the questions and answers for the members of the jury because of our shortage of time. At the outset, are you a directory for the central banks, for the local banks of every member state? Secondly,
the local laws اني I fall under a directory هل فيها استبدال
is there an exchange of finances among the member states? Yes. In the liquidity management, the central bank in every country, the Islamic countries, can be done locally, but through management, through agreement with the definitive, we want to open the scope for the Islamic banks in all parts of the world, in all the countries, member states in the ISDB, so that they would be able to make exchanges among themselves through that platform. What is the regulation? Permit me. I'm an SME.
Example, Egypt. Would that be allowed يعني? Based on the regulation?
As a matter of fact, the different laws differ from one country to the other, and for sure, we have to take into consideration the different laws in the different countries, what is permissible, what is not. In order to respect the law, we must have a digital platform and the connection among them. For us, will not be comfortable. We have to take into consideration the different laws in each country. Hence, our ideas are to start with the liquidity management with every central bank in the member states, and in that way, the securities would cover locally in each country, and then it would be open to the neighboring countries. As part of respect of local laws. Thank you. With your permission, who are the direct competitors or indirect competitors? I will speak about the competitors with us in the Central Bank of Oman. There are many corporations, they are old. They've been in the market for more than 20 years with productions. But in the financial field, they restructured their traditional productions so that they to take a Muslim form. But the digital platform was created specifically to meet the needs of the central bank according to the Sharia. This is the first point. What is the competitive advantage? It is the first technological platform according to the Islamic Sharia. Yes, our voyage starts digitally on a hub. The different productions, the contracts, the tenders, all according to Sharia. Thank you. Thank you.
والآن مع الفريق الرابع.
With our fourth group, Money Look.
Assalamu alaikum.
Peace and blessings of Allah. My brothers, how did we think? How did we get financing 100 years ago? We had different means historically for the financing is the different corporations, different societies. Those societies started 200 years before Christ. And today the member states, the majority of the member states in the ISDB and their citizens have different corporations or societies. For more than 200 years, they have worked in 3 trillion Saudi dollars, more than $1 billion. Why can a society continue for years and continue until the present day? I believe that those societies are still in progress because they are a means to help the people and the different individuals among themselves. Yet the majority of those countries take part in those societies, a jam'iyya, either to receive loans or to save money. We have studied the two cases and we found the problems in each case and we found a solution for each case. The first one is to be part of a jam'iyya because of a loan, and this is the first to have a specific amount of money in order to meet his needs. As for the second objective of that society, those who give loans to others is a chaos case. Members of that society will continue until the end and will get the money at the end of the collective manner of the society. In each case, will face a personal problem in that society. Those who receive loans have a certain path, and those who provide the debts or the loans have another path. As for those who receive the debts or the loans, are not being served by the banking system. They do not have a history of credit assessment to determine their financial status. As part of the society, we had a special director based on 8 pivots where we can specify the capabilities of every individual. In return, those who provide the loans to that society are evaluated or assessed according to the different investment offers. They would be part of that society and would have a return in the field of investment, and this we safeguard the soundness of every individual member of the society. Today, we have solved that problem in a proper manner. We have difficulties less than 0.013. The debtor or the one who provides a loan has the different facilitation. We have different clips for each particular point, and that is taking part in that society. Taking part in that society, whether that to receive a loan or a financing, or it's done in less than half a minute. We have more than 70,000 users in a period of 2 years, whether that be for a loan or to add to a capital society for more than 50 million reals. Last year we had great gains, more than 150%. Today we are facing great demand on our societies. We started with a certain figure in 2023, and we doubled that amount to 12 folds. And last year we realized all that we were hoping for compared to the last year. As for the total efforts exerted are for every different cases. Those who receive the loan have a certain form, and we have dues based on the society rules distributed among the members of society, 1,400 reals in one side, and the investor will take part without any dues, and he received between 6 to 8% according to the amounts in the different society. That model or that form is a new one applied in the new societies and not the old ones. We had 6 regions, financial regions, and we were sure at the end of that study that the model that we are providing is in keeping with the different rules of the Sharia. We have studied the Saudi market, and we are working here. We are competing with 6 platforms, and we have had a model that is aimed at investment, where we have provide an interest of 8%. Our competitor provides only 2%. We cover a great market for 6.6 billion, and we have several plans in order to have models for the different societies. The first model is a society that's close to a certain corporation or company. Today we target that model. As our brothers have said, we have 96.2% of the corporations are SMEs. More than 50% of those companies are not qualified to receive loans to their members' staff. We have a new model for the SMEs so that they can have financing from according to their salaries. And the second model is aimed at providing private products, starting with used cars. That is how to receive your finances from a society in order to carry out the covering of your production. We have 16 members. I'm Salah, the CEO, and we have a colleague from Egypt in the technical suite, Mr. Shami, and for the development of our activities. Thank you. And I'm prepared to receive any of your questions and queries.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. Congratulations for arriving to this stage. I think there is a way to measure the financial capacity.
نعم وإيش بيصير لو ما
And what will happen if this measure doesn't work, or there is an error in measuring this capacity? If there is an error, we use in Saudi Arabia, we use a lot of electronic tools. So any amount is to be registered. If there are problems, so we are trying to solve these problems. We are ready to refund these amounts. We have used a lot of or different technologies. We insist to know the place of work, and also we deal with the open bank platforms. We have our own society in order to cover these expenses. Thank you. I have a question regard the investors. What about the unique 7 value? How much is the amount you offer in a closed loop? We are working with all devices, but the amount is about 60,000 reals. Thank you. Any other question? Thank you very much. Thank you for your responses and for your readiness to respond. Now we are going to have the fifth team, but this will be a virtual presentation.
أتوقع إذا الصوت واضح فأنا حبدأ فيه إن شاء الله.
If the sound is clear, we will start. Thank you very much. I would like to welcome you in the name of Belgadir Company. We have coordinated a lot of works around the kingdom. We have worked in the industrial arena, amount of $120 million per year. We have worked in the field of in the technical and journalist field. Thanks to the development of the technology in the recent years, the market value has increased. There is a global problem. What is the actual problem in the market? The issue of recruitment. And also the efforts to reach remote areas, and the cost is very high. One of the solutions based air wash drone. And also to look into the work conditions of the employees. And also we have the objective to assist and to support our state in its development and advanced programs. The first concern for us is the perfection of our plans. We think we have to develop quickly in this field. Also the issue of the cleaning, the amount from this activity is about 11 billion per year. So with regard to the local market, the amount is $460 million per year. We are working in the supermarkets, hospitals, and we choose these opportunities to implement our plans.
We feel that we are advancing and developing every year with regard to the operationalization and the maintenance of our tools. Now we have started our first investment round. Regarding the sales and the distribution, and also the assessment and the evaluation of these activities. Now we have only one competitor in the United Arab Emirates. I will give a simple idea about air wash.
في أحد من لجنة التحكيم.
Any member of the jury has a question for air wash?
Hello. Yeah, thank you very much. Maybe a brief question on engineering development side, just to understand what you're developing in-house versus what's third-party, and for what is in-house, well, what is the focus over the next 12 months?
Amazing. So what we developed in-house was the washing system, how it can be connected directly with the drones, and we're keeping the washing system like on the trunk, in the cars, and the van, and at the same time, how we can make the drones to be operated for like 30 to 40 minutes without stopping. From the past year and a half, we did lots of crashes and malfunction to our drones because it was on the developing stage. And from that side, we came up, alhamdulillah, the last 2 months with the final products to be using for the washings. In a way, we reached up to 120-meter heights of washings. This way, we are focusing right now to wash the facade buildings and as well the commercial towers, residence towers or buildings, and as well hospitals. So what we did honestly from this part is the printings of it, the programs of the drone itself, and at the same time how we can make a washing that can be sustainable and at the same time does not leave any effects on the windows after you leave it for a while.
Amazing. Any other questions? Yes, one more.
السلام عليكم يعطيكم العافية. ذكرت في
You mentioned in the competition or the other competitors in the market, there are indirect competitors to the traditional way of washing. What is the cost on the client when he asks for air wash as compared to the conventional means of cleaning or washing? Air wash for cleaning a whole building, the drone costs between 4,000 to 500. At least it is less than 40% of the conventional means of washing. This is the price that we took from the market for a square meter for the whole building. Of course, the drones can cover air wash to any building, and the weather in Saudi Arabia is good and favorable to the air wash. And this is why we do not have a big problem. At the present time, we are trying to find support from the government, and we are now in the extension phase. We have given you a complete picture of the situation, and we would be honored if you take part with us. Thank you for AirWash, and we wish you every success. Now we will go to the sixth group.
It's the second largest chain pharmacies in Saudi Arabia, which is called Dawa. They used our solution for the warehouse operations to fulfill with the compliance and make sure the operations can go quickly. In Saudi Arabia, we have more than 200 customers, ranging from small community pharmacies all the way to mega distribution and warehouse operations. Our first solution is the ERP, and the second solution is Julep Connect, and we can offer different bundles depending on the user requirements. The market we serve, so if we look at the number of pharmacies depending on the population, every 10,000 population, you see between 5 pharmacy and 30 pharmacies depending on the regions. This is based on the World Health Organization data. And when we look at the value of the vertical SaaS, which is specialized in pharma, so you look at the pharma market and we extract a percentage of that market, and it is estimated to be more than $6 billion market globally. This is some of our recognition. So we participated in Sanabel 500 accelerator program. We were shortlisted in KPMG tech competition. We had a participation in Global Health Exhibition, and we have different strategic collaborations with different entities in Saudi. Our team is coming from a pharma background, a team who have built companies and a strong technology background, also backed by advisors who are empowering the team and helping us build a very successful company in the field that we're looking to achieve. We're looking forward to build strategic collaboration to expand globally. So partnerships could include pharmaceutical distribution companies, pharmacies, or on a government level collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julep. There is a question from the jury.
Presentation. Maybe a brief question on, again, on the engineering side. I mean, are you building the ERP platform? Are you leveraging existing with APIs? Are you putting open source and adapting? So what's the approach here?
Yeah, so our starting point, we leveraged open source technologies. However, that was when we launched in 2021. Today, we have added a lot of different customization that matches the pharma field. And we have built a lot of APIs, microservices, and complete modules from scratch in-house.
سؤال ثاني.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I have 2 questions. The first one is about the platform. Is it using blockchain as its end-to-end distribution? And on the second question is the data of the client, because you will have all the data from the patient until, so where is this data? Is it in Saudi Arabia, and how you are dealing with the cybersecurity part? Thank you so much.
No problem. So the first question, if it's blockchain, currently it's not blockchain. However, we're looking actively on use cases to implement blockchain. We believe down the road we will have use cases to tackle that or use that technology. The second part is data. So our data is hosted locally in Saudi Arabia, and we have a data engineering team that we're continuously building use cases. We haven't reached the potential that we are looking for in data, but we're in the early stages to scratching the surface.
Thank you.
خلاص بالتوفيق تحية كبيرة لجل.
Please.
Let us congratulate him and wish him all the best. Now we are going to have the Health and Life team. A presentation is to be made by Health and Life team. Assalamu alaikum. I am Hussein Jamal. I am the CEO of this group. I am working in the medical field for long years. So I have a medical problems some years before. I didn't know where to go. So we have opted for the medical field and the girl who made good. This is the main reason that has pushed me and convinced me to opt for the medical field. You know, the main problem is how to make this to book for these medical services. There is a lot of diversity in the medical services. So the medical services paid in cash are not included in our system. We allow our patient, our client, to choose the type of medical services he wants. Now we are exerting efforts to improve the quality of the medical service. So we try to available the best cure, the best medical treatment. And also we have to simplify the system for our client who is asking or looking for the medical service. The business model, we engage with the service, medical service provider as a first step. After that, we put our commission base, it is about 10%. It will be the good price for the best quality of service. Let us focus on Saudi Arabia in particular. We have the market. The Saudi market is about $100 million. This is a very promising market for us. The best, we provide the best price for the patient, and also we provide an integrated medical services, and also sometimes we opt for the artificial intelligence in the provision of our medical services. Despite the fact we are working with a limited budget, but we have other transactions with 370,000 reals. And a part of this is allocated to the development and also to make a lot of acquisition. Our target is to reach $4 million. Our team enjoys a very rich experience. So we have built a very strong and experienced team in this field. Health and Life is a Saudi company. So I would like to thank you for your kind attention. I am ready to answer all your questions. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. how do you assess, how do you evaluate? Do you have the rating systems?
Rating. Maybe this service is good now, but tomorrow is not good. So how to maintain this?
Sure. في rating system موجود after.
Yes, the rating system is available for the medical service. So we also assist our patients in order to assess and to evaluate the medical service. We go step by step. So we give due attention to our client. How do you enable the client to go back and to assess the service? We didn't think about this, but this is a good idea. We are going to take it on board. Any other question? I would like to know the competitive advantage of this regarding a physician. In which stage are you now? Which one? Starting stage, middle stage, advanced stage? Which stage? So with regard also to evaluation, the amount mentioned is very high. Are there any cells? We have assisted in our assessment and evaluation by a consultant, and consultant has helped us. The assessment is about $7 million with regard to the volume of the market and the available promising opportunities in this market. The team which is working in this field is very excellent team. We count also about we care also about the differentiators and the softwares used in the different clinics. This will reduce errors with regarding to the appointments with doctors and clinics. With regard to the best price, it is a reality. Up to now, we are offering the best price. Thank you for the presentation. My first question is about the incentives.
Those users إذا أخذوا your recommendation, there will be a churn for the next year. So means you will always need to acquire more users because it can be that the actual one will be in churn because they get the information and the best price already. وإحنا نعرف إنه life cycle تاع الطب per user is once per year or twice per year. So how is your acquisition strategy and churn strategy also? Okay. And the second question, a quick one, you said you're using the AI. How you train it and how you split also the cost between your customer service that is tracking and the AI to train it to be accurate. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for your question. طيب بخصوص
With regard to the first point, we work into different dervishes. First, the contracts with the medical service providers. So we can work within the kingdom or outside. if I divide them in different segments, this is step 1, and then I can expand according to the volume of the demand. So also we have the marketing campaigns. We use social media and other marketing channels. We are working. We didn't reach the training stage up to now. Now we are working in the telemedicine. So we start also with the expectations to arrive to the recommendations with regard to the patient. Thank you, health and life. Thank you.
Now, the technical team of AI that will be delivered virtually.
Assalamu alaikum.
Peace and blessings.
تفضل, the presentation.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are Technia Systems, and we would like to present MA Insights, a video camera analytics system. Our goal is to turn any video camera into a data collection rather than video collection. As you may know, only 1%, less than 1% of the recorded video through surveillance cameras are monitored alive, and even less than this number are actually referred to later on as a recorded video. So that's a huge waste of storage and efforts, and doesn't contribute into the security of the buildings and in the security of communities. And besides, by 2021, there was 1 billion surveillance camera out there around the world, and this number is increasing. So our goal is to turn every camera into a data collection, meaningful data collection that can be used and utilized efficiently with the minimal human interference. Our solution relies on artificial intelligence algorithms that receive the video feed from any CCTV camera and analyze it based on the configurations, predefined configurations. We install the software in an edge computing device at the same network where the CCTV cameras resides. We get the feed and we do the analysis, and then we present the reports, and we can trigger actions as an integration with third-party systems. So what makes us different from the current video surveillance systems? We believe that we are extending the infrastructure of all the existing infrastructure of buildings, and our solution, we believe it's sustainable and scalable. We can start, we can do a solution for 1 to 2 cameras up to hundreds of cameras. It's easy to use, and it's flexible in terms of implementation. Our target market is mostly public sector, government and public sector, transportation and infrastructure, as they are heavily using and utilizing CCTV cameras. Retail stores and shopping malls are starting to focus on the feed from the videos, they come from their CCTV cameras and utilize them for their commercial purposes rather than only security cameras purposes. And of course, industry and construction. M-Insights now offer 9 different models: fire detection, crowd analysis, and other models. We believe we are moving at the right time where in the Middle East, specifically Saudi Arabia, are focusing on applications of the artificial intelligence, and also the global surveillance camera market is growing rapidly at the rate of 16.8 annually. Our revenue model falls in 4 revenue streams: the installation and configuration of the system, then we apply license on each video stream that we do analysis on, then if there is any customization, we can do it, and AI model reinforcement, where we apply specific improvements for the exact context required by the client. Our competition, there is various competitors in the market so far. Some of them are in the market for more than 15 years, but we believe we have some competitive advantages. Like, we can connect to any camera. We don't have to worry about the camera manufacturer. As long as the camera is IP and can be streaming based on RTSP protocol, we can deal with it. It's extendable. We can work with small number or big numbers of cameras. It's fully integratable with existing systems like security systems or notification systems or even HR systems or marketing systems. It's Arabic ready from day one, and this feature is unique compared to any other, all the competitors. Plug and play, we can install the software today and link cameras and start generating results. We can host it on premise or in the cloud, and we have flexible licensing, and it comes with a mobile app. The market is, the global AI video analytics market is booming, expected to reach $100 billion by 2029 at a rate of almost 26%. It's an insight here of how the system looks like, where we simply create an operation, we add a camera, we specify the analytics model that we need, and then the data starts collecting. Thank you.
شكرا جزيلا لكم. أكيد نتمنى لكم كل التوفيق.
We wish you every success. A member from the jury has a question.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Maybe if you can give us some insight about the type of algorithms, the AI algorithms you have built or you're leveraging to process all this data and the use cases that you're focusing on as a priority.
Yeah, we combine multiple algorithms, and like we rely basically on YOLO version 8 combined with CNN and TensorFlow. Different model needs different customization. For example, I'm not sure if you can see my screen. I'm moving to the models types. Like the speed estimation model requires heavier analytics compared to people counting or to, let's say, car park monitoring. So in general, these are the stack components that we are using, but different models needs different tuning.
Sorry, one more question, if you don't mind. To what level of control you have over the security of the data that's stored there? Because data could be easily manipulated. Thank you very much.
Disseminated.
Yeah, you're welcome. We apply. Actually, we don't let any data leakage outside of the let's say client consent to the cloud, referring to the cloud. So cloud dashboard is optional. Let's say, we started 2 years ago. We launched earlier this year. We made one sale, and this client prefer everything to be on his local network, and we follow their IT department security measures just to maintain the data does not leak outside of their servers.
Perfect. Thank you so much, فريق تقنية.
Thank you. Wish you every success. The last team participating, the team for application of models in a virtual manner. The name of God Almighty, and pray be on our best of prophets. Prayer and the blessing on our Prophet Muhammad. At the outset, I will speak about a very important part. How did we apply? As a speaker before you, there is a challenge that we are confronting. Some of the information I had, but I was unable to make use of that because of. من هنا جت الفكرة وبدينا ب 2022 وكان الأساس. Basically, the idea, how can we start? We started to have slogans for every voice. How can we apply our endeavors? The problem that faced the WHO provided about 10% interest to us. We were unable to reach our objectives today. To solve this problem,
ثاني عن طريق منهجية معتمدة في المعالجة عن طريق
through different exercises and modules. The last part in our session, we have specialists. What about the value? The specialization is that the majority of people are not specialized. Our effort is to facilitate how to reach experts, the elite of experts in the application of our efforts. Today we linked our social endeavors for sustainable development. Today we have the faced tackling of the social problem for the sake of sustainable development, to improve education for children through sustainable development. The fourth target, we focused on that particular element to tackle the difficulty of speech and the lack of equality that impacts the procedures adopted in general. Today, we are contributing to solve problems at the level of the schools, education, secondary stages, the university level, comparisons. We provide the different contribution, and we are able to tackle and remedy virtually according to the ideas that prevail in the field of education. If you speak of applications from B2B, using intellectual elements from international organizations, where do we get our revenue? And what is the system that we apply? This represents 50% of our revenues through the different offices we have abroad. The sound system is actually impossible to interpret. I'm sorry.
المملكة العربية السعودية تشكل 699 مليون دولار. هنا بتحدث أخيرا عن الأشيفمنت أو الإنجازات اللي احنا حققناها بفضل الله عز وجل.
As for our achievements, we had an award for the application of the educational system as the systematic applications. I'm sorry, the sound system is quite impossible. I cannot follow.
انه باذن الله عز وجل بنطلق تابلت لبقه وراح نطور الاي اي في اختبار الاخصائيين. هذا البزنس بلان الخاص فينا الين عام 2030.
This is our business plan for 2030. We will have 3 million contributors in addition to our those who have 100,000 tablets to be used through testing. This is our team. You can use this application.
Thank you very much for this presentation and for this determination. Now the word is for the arbitration committee. We wish you all the success. So there is a group which tried to communicate virtually, but they didn't succeed. Next time. Future of the new farming, they can start their presentation. Do you hear?
So this is Abdurrahman Al-Zubaydi. I'm the founder and CEO of Invest. And today I'm going to be telling you how we're making the future of agriculture and investing in agriculture more efficient and accessible. If we want to feed the 10 billion people by 2050, we need to start thinking about alternatives for greenhouses that already occupy more than 50% of our habitable lands globally. Here in Saudi, we have less than 1.6% of our lands that are considered arable, lands where we can actually do agriculture from. Greenhouses are considered high-risk investments where they require high capex and they are highly fragile to climate and human error, and they're also limited by production seasons. All the alternatives, indoor farming as a technology comes to solve all of these problems attached with the greenhouses where we can produce our food all year long, produce 7 to 10 times more of pesticide-free food while reducing the consumption of water and land to more than 90%. The only challenge, however, for indoor farming technology to become adopted globally is that it's highly expensive to buy and highly expensive to operate. And this is why we created the capsule, a highly efficient indoor farming technology that is modular, scalable, and costs 60% less to manufacture and consumes 40% less energy, while it also enables you to produce 200 plants per meter square. The capsule is backed by our indoor farming operating system, IsDB, that controls the most sensitive agricultural operations, including temperature, humidity, CO2, and nutrient solution dosing, enabling anyone with no previous background in agriculture to operate this unit within less than a week of training and answering instantly any question that the operator might have using our AI assistant, increasing the productivity per employee per hour to more than 6 times and accelerating the growth cycle 10 days faster, and presenting a realistic alternative to greenhouses. Not only that enables us to produce much more food within less space, but also generate 5 times higher ROI with a short period of 3 years or less. We specifically fill the gap of providing an advanced technology that is also financially feasible. And while doing so, we create tons of impact in terms of food, water, and land saved. And we focus specifically on the MENA's market that is growing 2 times faster than any other global market. All of this technology is also presented with a unique business model that we call indoor farming as an investment, which was specially designed to our region, where we offer the capsule at cost price to individuals as an investment, where we install it in our location, we then operate it and sell the produce based on offtake agreements within the local market, all in exchange for a net profit share of 40 to 50%. And thankfully, just last month, we installed our first pilot here in Riyadh and Ammaria, and we've been able to interact directly with the local market, checking all of the boxes in terms of price and in terms of quality measurements. And now, with this, we are motivated to start our first investment project in agritech in Riyadh with 15 capsules. And already, we have 50 individuals in our waiting list who are excited to start with us. By the end of 2024, we aim at having 30 capsules installed in Saudi, and then growing afterwards, covering all of GCC countries by having 2,500 capsules by 2029. And this is why we're seeking $1.2 million in seed round to achieve these targets. And we have already started creating strategic partnerships and strong ones within the region. And we have a strong team of architects, space scientists, agronomists, and IoT experts all together and with passion to make the future of agriculture and make investment in agriculture possible, accessible, and efficient. And you are invited to join us this journey. Thank you so much.
الآن
Now, we will go back to give an opportunity to the jury members to direct any questions that they might have. Because of the time difficulties, you are free to direct your questions later. Thank you. I wish you every success. Now, we give the jury members 20 minutes to decide the names and to consult together according to the different teams that will continue with us. Now we'll ask Mr. Sar, the advisor for the development of our activities, to speak about the information about the corridors of this competition.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مساكم الله بالخير جميعا.
Good evening to you all. So we need you to be, I would like to thank you all and to congratulate you all. I am here to talk about the emerging companies. Sometimes you have a new company, but you don't have relations with others. I have nobody to assist me in my business. I don't know how to access to new clients. These are types or problems. I would like to give the floor to different people in order to promote our networking. So I would like to salute and congratulate Dr. Walid. Please present yourself quickly. Salam alaikum. I would like to thank my brother. I am Dr. Walid Al-Tabi', CEO of the company. The feasibility studies are made by specialized offices, and this has enabled the entrepreneur to conduct feasibility studies. So these systems have been used by at least 5,000 clients. We have direct contact with them. We have entrepreneurs and we have investors as well. So we have also a virtual efforts with the emerging and the new enterprises. Did you understand something? So you understand you are going to deal with him? Thank you, Doctor, for your presence. Thank you very much. You are welcome. I think one of the projects we have exposed today have already started. Please applaud for him. One of the people had a very good project. This project for me is an excellent one. Please present yourself and what is the problem. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad Hassan. I am coming from Tabuk. I am the founder of the platform. Like any other graduate, we are suffering from the big gap. I am working in the field of programming. We have a problem in this schizophrenic problem. The demand is growing and the tools are not adequate. One of the proposed solutions, the problem of cyber security, the cyber security problem. The last camping, there was 80,000 persons to be trained in order to be qualified in this field of the cyber security. It is clear that we have graduates who are interested in learning the cyber security. In order to make a balance between the needs so we are preparing the graduates for the cybersecurity field to work in the future in this field. So we have prepared training sessions for those graduates interested in cybersecurity. The period or the time was only 40 seconds in order to be acquainted with the importance of this problem. A very simple training method was very fruitful. If they present themselves right now to an exam in cybersecurity, they will succeed in a very simple way. We are aiming in collaboration with universities to set up a training program, training method to facilitate their access to the work market. Thank you. What do you need in order to advance and to go forward quickly? We are a group of graduates of the technological studies. If you want to recruit somebody, it will be through me. Thank you. I would like to raise a question. I want to ask those who are looking for a housing unit in Saudi Arabia or elsewhere. I can tell you that through Google Map while you are driving, you can you can discover that there is a place for sale, other place for rent. So let us congratulate him first. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رضا المطرفي. I am the founder of the Zaki platform. It is an electronic platform. There is the plans of housing in the Saudi Arabia. We have developed a program with the different piece of lands, so with different colors. If it is for sale, it will have a different color than the one for rent. These facilities are not available in the biggest company. The programs we have added for the real estates with different activities. We have a building. We show different activities, land for sale, land for rent. All this is clear. We have made it a stock of information. This is with regard to the presentation of the real estate. Any real estate is required or demanded. It will take the color that shows it is the real estate. As if, but it is an electronic way. In these programs, we have real estate plans to show the offers in Saudi Arabia. You can go through it, and this mechanism has no precedent. So in Saudi Arabia, you can see the exposed real estates through this experience. We put it on the screen of one of the cars. You can see real estates in different colors, colored with different colors. What
make the distinction between us and Google. We have advantages which are not available in Google. Everything is included, the mosques, all the hospitals, all the pharmacies are added to this system. This is not available in Google. We have added this system. The second thing I wanted to affirm, we take only one step to add the real estate to our system. So whenever we add the license, so the real estate, the land, wherever it exists, it can be added, and also all the information of this real estate can be added with the suitable color. What do you need actually in order to go forward? This program has been supported by 5 government or governmental entities. So there are offers from all the cities of the kingdom. More than 60 real estate offer in Saudi Arabia. So the registration is through the national number. So the presentation of the real estate can be available only through the offices. We can add this information in each and every car with the specification of the Saudi Arabia. Any car that enters Saudi Arabia can be added to the screen. So the program can assist, can help in this field. The program will follow you like your shadow everywhere you go. The program is accompanying you. You can know easily the location of the real estate. You can say it is near Benda or anywhere. So the brand is free for us. We have documented the programs, and we have our intellectual property certificates. So please try, let us applaud for him.
When startup started in Tunisia, they started by marketplace for the laptop, repairing laptop. If I have a laptop that needs repair, who's going to do it? We will start with a laptop that is out of order, it needs repair. Great challenges, but that was the after-sale service. Today, they are a foreign investment company, and they started to expand, but there is an additional point here that is related to climate sustainability. Greet Mr. Mohammed Alaouni. The biggest applause for Mr. Alaouni.
الله يبارك فيكم أخي عاطف، دائما ما شاء الله يلخص الأفكار بطريقة ممكن أفضل من اللي
We are going to summarize our ideas. This opportunity, and may God bless you.
شو عملت لاباس فاين لاباس نايس شفتكم موجودين قلت الحمد لله الحمد لله والله
يعطيك العافيه سي محمد.
في أحد؟ السادة الحضور، السيدات والسادة الحضور، نرحب بكم مجددا.
We want to renew welcoming you once again. We are going to award or honor those who have won from the competition. From the jury members, Mr. Osama Kaiser, the CEO of the Islamic Institution for Investment and Exports, we ask him to take the floor.
سنبدأ هذه الفقرة بتكريم المتحدثين.
We will start with Dr. Sami Swelam, the General Director of ISDB Department. Thank you, Dr. Sami Swelam. Mr. Hadi Matai, Head of the Investment Department in the ISDB.
شكرا أستاذ محمد.
Dr. Hadim Al-Tahri, Head of Development and Islamic Financial Services.
حاتم.
Thank you, Dr. Hatem. Dr. Mohammed Yami, head of the development operations for the development of investment in the private sector.
شكرا دكتور محمد.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. Mr. Manai, head of the specialists of the Department of Programs in the Islamic Development Funds.
تمام. الآن بعد تكريم المتحدثين ننتقل.
As for the speakers, honoring the jury members, Mr. Mohammed Hani Madai, head of the investment department in ISDB.
أستاذ محمد.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed Bakriva, the CEO of the incubator of Hanyamun. Dr. Mohammed Baswini, the CEO of the installations department.
رياض هرتاني المؤسس
رياض head and the country of Excellent Partners. Mr. Halal Hussein, partner in the ISDB.
الأستاذ محمد عبد الله.
Mr. Mohammed Abdul head of the entrepreneurship in Jamil Company. Mr. Mohammed Sharif, head of the Solutions for Innovations.
الأستاذة هاجر.
Mr. Khalgay, the CEO of a company.
أما الآن سننتقل.
We now announce the winners of the competitives and awarding them. First of all, honoring the competitors in the March of the Development of Human Resources and Social Services. The first award is presented from the Solidarity Fund for Development. Dr. Hoba Ahmed will present it and hand the award. We pay tribute and applaud Dr. Hiba Ahmed. Dr. Asama, please continue to be with us. Can you to stay with us?
Okay, تمام. أنت يعني تغني عن الجميع أستاذ أسامة.
Now, the first prize from the Islamic Solidarity Fund, and the winner is Money Lu. Money Lu.
مبروك بالتأكيد لماني لو.
Congratulations Money Lu for this award, which they really deserve. The other one from Gulwat, Dr. Hatem Al-Tahar, we ask him to hand over the awards.
مهندس احنا طمعانين في وجودك في كل صورة.
We want you to be in every picture that we take. All the winners are interested in having this photo taken. The winner team is Siola.
مبروك لسيولا.
Congratulations, Siola, for this prize. As for the third prize presented by the Islamic Solidarity for Development, and the winner is Qasbay.
Congratulations. Congratulations again to Qasbay. أما الآن مع تكريم الفائزين.
As for those who have المسار for sustainability and the supply chain, the first prize from the Arab African Solidarity Fund. Leiter Jones is the first winner.
طبعا هم كانوا معنا أونلاين افتراضي وأكيد راح يوصل.
That was virtually the second prize from the Innovation Fund, ITFC, and the winner is iInvest.
أما الجائزة الثالثة فهي.
The third one is from the Arab African Trade Society, and Taknea is the winner.
والآن
we invite Dr. Sami Swalim to join Mr. Osama because there is another award to be presented. Honorable participants, it's the first award in the field of financial, technological, and cybersecurity from the Institute for the ISDB, and the winner is Tulip. Congratulations, Well deserved.
أما الجائزة الثانية فهي مقدمة من
The second prize is offered by the Investment Directorate in the IsDB. So you are kindly requested to come forward to receive your prize. The winning team is Letqa team. The third offered by the Islamic institutions for the private sector development. I hope this will be an example to be followed. Now we are going to take a collective photo for all the speakers and the arbitration committee as well. You are invited to come forward for this collective photo. Group photo, sorry, it is a group photo. This photo encompasses the participants, the members of the committee, and the winners as well.
ايه يا عائشة؟ ايه يا عائشة؟ يا عائشة طب واحنا من الساعة 10:30 ل 7:30 يا عائشة يا عائشة
بس شوفينا احنا امبارح
ما انا شفت
في سبيل الأمة
كله في سبيل الوطن
ما حسيت مش عارفة ليه ما عرفتش انام ايه عارفة فعلا انا نمت على الساعة كان يمكن على 12 ونص كده
Congratulations for the winners. Now our program for today came to an end. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your attendance and your active participation. We would like to thank again all the participants and the speakers. So